Building a Claude skill is very easy, but to build an amazing Claude skill, you need to know a special framework. In this video, I'm going to share with you my own 4-step Claude skill creation framework. I use it every day, my clients are using it every day, and it helped us create over 100 skills at this point. If you're new to the channel, my name is Arman. I help companies to strategically implement AI into their operations. I have helped over 200 companies with hundreds of automations built. Also, I'm building my own fully AI-based company. My goal is to reach 10 million just being me and my AI tools. I'm sharing my whole journey and everything I learned and know on this channel. So hit subscribe, join the community, and let's grow together. Okay, the first thing I told you in this video is that building Claude skills is extremely easy. All you need to do is go into Claude, open your chat, and tell Claude, build me a skill to do something. Okay, let's quickly build a skill together, which will draw replies to my emails. So every time you create a new skill with Claude, it cross-references everything else to make sure your skills are consistent. Next, it will ask you for the source of truth. In my case, I have my Gmail connected through the connectors. I highly recommend you guys go to the connectors and connect all the apps you're using. So I will just click pull from Gmail, or if you don't have it, you can just tell it like, okay, I'll copy paste some of my emails or go figure out yourself. Let me tell it to go and use my Gmail. And you can see I've clicked on it. It has the whole skill in here with my tone of voice from my other skills, what its goal is, how it should work, what it should do. Everything is in here. From here, you can do two things. And the easiest one, if you're in a desktop, you can see save skill. You just click on the save skill, and now you have your Claude skill installed. Just to double check, let's click on manage, and you can see all the active skills I have in here. Okay, this is the easiest way to create any Claude skill you can think of. But is it the way to create the best Claude skills? It's not. Now let me share the 4-step framework I mentioned at the start of the video. Technically, we're going to do the same thing we did with the example number 1, but we'll add 4 main elements before telling the Claude to go and start creating the skill. Okay, for this advanced version, let's start to build a skill which will generate posts for LinkedIn. First part of our 4-step framework of creating Claude skills is giving it the purpose and identity, what it's going to do. If you look at Claude skills as replacement of employees or as SOPs in the company which are being done automated, this first step is who is responsible for it. In my case, I want to hire a dedicated LinkedIn content writer. And my first words, you are me, are not a coincidence.
Wait, what?
Because my Claude already knows so much things about me, I wanted to go and read when building this skill, to read through everything we have together. I have a bunch of skills, projects, different chats. So saying you are me will trigger Claude to go and read through everything it knows about you. Then I'm going more specific of what part of me you are. You are my LinkedIn influencer. This first step needs to be specific, but don't go too much into detail. This is more identity level. Second part is giving it knowledge. You don't want to be dependent on the Claude itself to do all research for you. What I usually suggest to do is at least have 5 supportive documents. For this video, I will go just one as an example, which is a playbook I found of another LinkedIn influencer who is doing pretty good with thousands of people engaging under his posts. Finding this kind of information for any skill you're making is so easy. For example, I know for LinkedIn, Larry Costa is an amazing influencer. So one thing I did, I used Claude Cowork and other scrapers to scrape all of her posts on LinkedIn, her YouTube videos, went to her website, tried to get her playbooks, and I suggest you do the same thing on whatever you want to build. The more knowledge base you have for creation of your skill, the better. Another thing I like to do whenever I'm creating a writing skill or content creation skill is connecting it to my note taker. So anytime I need to generate something in my tone of voice, I will tell it to go connect to my Fireflies and read through all of my meeting transcripts, the words I am saying to understand the better way I'm talking. If you don't have a connector or you don't have a way of online doing it, just go to your app, export it, and import it in here. I need to explain step by step how your skill needs to behave. I literally had to rewrite my short content writing skill today because this step was not done properly. Similar to the example here, every time a skill is triggered, it goes through several steps. If you don't specify which steps it should take one after another, it will end up in a loop, which will cause a huge effect on the quality of your final output. So this is the example of the output my short content writing skill is giving me every week. 7 videos by different topic types I do with the structure, funnel stage, everything is considered into putting this script. But what I've noticed is that it's repeating its topics a lot. So what I found that in my instructions of the skill itself, I had the stages and sequencing of the steps incorrect. And because of that, it was checking the same competitor content over and over again and coming up with the same topics. And everything I did, but I moved the online search to the first part of the sequence. And now it changes everything. Because you can see my first topic, it suggested, is a news that has been launched literally 2 hours ago. Now going back to our framework, you can see that in my first step, I specifically said which steps it needs to take before giving a final output. And the final stage, of course, is how you want it to be. presented to you. Now, why is this important? You ask a simple question, you will get a 5-page doc as a reply. And when you need a skill which you use every day, that can get so annoying and so hard to do. Trust me, I've spent so much time until I get to the version for my short content again, for example, to get this kind of output. To keep it simple in here, let's say we just want it to give us a doc, so it's very easy to copy paste and work on, and we don't want all of the fluff AI is giving us the whole time. We just need the final result. So now our AI has its purpose, it has its knowledge base, it has its rules, and it knows what it needs to serve us at the end. Let's see what we get. While it's thinking, guys, the framework itself is very easy. It's a question of how good you are going to implement this. That's why I scoped on each one of them for so long and showed you exactly my way of thinking behind it. Let me go grab some coffee while it thinks.
One eternity later.
If you go through it, you will see it has its identity, its protocol, compatibility map. Every instruction we told it was expanded with phases, steps, everything is there according to the 4-step framework we gave it. And after this is done, don't forget to click Save Skill. After you hit Save and go to the skills page, you can see it didn't just create a simple flat skill in this case, but because we had 1,000 references, it has created a more complicated general skill MD and references here as well. That's why I'm telling you, get as much references as you can. Here we go, the final version. You can see on the left side all the steps it went through to build this, instructions, other skills, knowledge base, everything it used to do it. And here we have the final one. There are, of course, some minor things I would change. I wouldn't say this is 100%. I'll just copy paste it to how it is. But I would say it's like 80% there. But if you can get 80% there, I would just spend about like 5 minutes polishing this. Here you go. As I promised, creating LinkedIn skills is so easy. At the same time, it's one of the most powerful AI tools you should be using today. Thanks for watching. And if you want to get amazing daily AI content, don't forget to join the community by subscribing. There are almost 300 now and planning to get to 500 by the end of June. Be part of our journey. Check the other video I have on the screen and see you next time.